It's everything. If you're not an actor yourself, it's everything for a director to understand actors, to understand how they feel, to walk a mile in their shoes, to know their vocabulary. Because our main job as a director is to direct actors. It's not so much about the shot. That's a part of it because the visual aspect is a part of telling our job. But you can have a great shot and inauthentic performances and you there have nothing because it's not believable or it's not touching or it doesn't get to the audience in the way that it needs to. So a director has to understand where an actor is coming from and be able to communicate with them. And furthermore, know how to fix it. If the scene is not good for some reason, if the acting is not what you need it to be, what are the magic words to tell them to make them go, oh, got it, okay. It's everything.
And it's so interesting that there's so many different kinds of trainings that actors come from. Someone might be Actor Studio, somebody might be Stella Adler, somebody might be Uta Hagen. To know the difference and to be able to identify pretty quickly, not necessarily exactly who their teacher was, although that sometimes is a huge bond if you can identify that or do identify it with an actor, but to know how their process will differ because of the way they were trained. And to know that information is like having gold in your pockets. And most importantly, because it just creates a trust and a respect that, oh, you know what I do and how I do it. And therefore, my relaxation level, my comfort level, my creativity level will shine knowing that I am in hands that value this and understand this.
That and the actor also feels if the director not only will not make them look stupid, but will elevate their game by virtue of what the director brings to it, then an actor feels, okay, I can put myself in this director's hands and I'm safe. I'm safe from ridicule. I'm safe from judgment. I'm safe to give my best work. And so many directors today just don't understand that that's so critical. They're all about the shot. They're missing the boat
Completely.
Yeah.
Listen, I always call it the sit forward moment. The moment that a performance is compelling. As an audience, you go like this. You want to know more. They've literally drawn you in and forward. And when that happens, and to be able to identify that and elucidate that, and elicit that is amazing, And our job, our most important job, I would say, probably because Bethany and I were so much on the same page on this, it was very easy for us to prioritize what we wanted to write in our book. It's acting is everything.
I had a couple of major points that I felt that contemporary directors are not aware of and need to be made aware of. The first one is the acting. The second one is be on set. Do not be at Video Village. But that goes back to our responsibility to the actors, to be on set with them, to handle things as they come up in the same space, not be this disembodied voice from far away shouting directions to you, which is, that makes us both throw up. I thought it was really important because when Video Assist came along, of course we all go to see the screen. And then that responsibility of the director to be with the actors and to be the leader on the set, in the set, got a little bit lost. So those are my two main things to communicate. Did you have?
No, I just think that Video Assist can be a very important tool, but it's just a tool. You can't abdicate your job by just looking at that little TV screen because the actors will know it.
Mm-hmm. And also there are video monitors on set. There used to not be, but now everybody, crew-wise, understands that the director does want to see the shot, so they bring in little monitors and it can be close by. You won't miss the shot, but you can be looking at your actors, or you can be looking back and forth between the video monitor and the actors. The point is you're present in the same space and you see what's going on and you know how to fix it. you need to give the actor something to do. You can't say, feel this more, because that's just too amorphous and it's not doable. They don't know what to do with it. So when you go in to give a note, it's usually along the lines of raise the stakes, which means make it more important. That's a doable thing. Or try harder to convince the other character in the scene to do what they need to do. So when Mary Lou was talking about processing and make it an actable thing, that's actually what acting is all about, is achieving an intent in a scene. So your direction to the actor is always about doing that, doing it more, doing it less, which is covering, doing it in a different way. Sometimes your direction has to do with disguising that a little bit more, but always it's focused on what does that character need to achieve? Here's the information I can give you to help do that.
And also, when we're giving acting notes, it has to be done in an efficient way, because I wish we had the time to speak and talk and have a lovely conversation. But very often, it's about explaining quickly, efficiently, and clearly what we want. And I would say to that, I usually have 3 ways I give most of my notes. I either identify their subtext and say, I think we have the wrong subtext, or let's switch up the subtext to this. This is what I was getting from you, this is what I want. The other thing is I usually use intentions or action verbs. You were seducing, but I want you to cajole. And then the third way, Bethany also touched on this, is a scale. On a scale of 1 to 10, you were seducing him at about a 9, but he's already attracted to you. You only have to do it as a 6. Don't try so hard. So in that way, it's very clear. And also, it's validating what they did first and then telling them what the change is.
And we say, give the stroke before the poke. Tell them what they did right first, and then say, but I think we could do this a little differently. And I try to do it in 1 sentence or less, like 6 words or less, because the more clear and clean your direction is, the easier it is for them to understand what you're saying and achieve it. If you do this whole speech about,
they don't want to hear it.
They don't want to hear it, and they don't understand it in a way. I mean, they can't read your mind, first off, and they don't know you very well. So you're telling this whole story, and the whole time they're thinking, what do they want? What do they want? What do they want?
Get to the point. Get to the point.
Get to the point. Exactly. So the more efficient you are at that, the better communication you'll have with actors.
I also have another rule. The moment I see an actor shake his head in recognition or say, I got it.
Stop.
Stop. Even if I'm mid-sentence. Stop, walk away, let them try it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You can always do another take if you didn't communicate well or they thought it was something else, but at least you're giving them the power to do what they think you want.
And also, I would say it's so important to be kind, or I would say be loving, actually, because this whole thing, actors are so vulnerable. They're putting themselves out there for judgment because they love what they do and because they're good at it. But every actor, I don't care how accomplished or how well known or whatever, they've got that little person inside who's afraid. And so, because it's a very scary thing to do. So love them, cherish them.
Gregory Peck talked about, he was quoted recently in a New York Times article, and he said, when directors come on set and give a direction for the entire crew to hear, the first moment I try to do that direction, the crew is judging me. So I so much so respect a director who will come in and give me a direction personally for my ears only. So then I am not being judged. And this is Gregory Peck talking, who had hundreds of performances behind him and saying, even I feel judged and I don't want it. To do my process, if you could take that step of it away, do it. Be a better director.
And that goes to shouting from the monitors. That's so wrong, because then everybody, after the next take is over, is going, did he do it? Did he not do it? That's not for them to judge. It's only for the director to judge.
They don't have the same empathy. It's not their job to have the same empathy.
Right.
They can as nice human beings, but it's our job to understand. What
Because
they're
really
going
they're
through.
thinking, did we get it? Are we done? Can we move on? That's what they're thinking. That's what the crew is thinking.
Am I going to miss traffic on the way home?
Exactly.
Sometimes an actor will say no, and they're saying, I'm testing you and I want to see who has the power here. And sometimes they're saying no because they disagree on the story you're telling. And those are two different, completely different entities to deal with. When you are talking about the no and the power, you need to finesse that to make sure that they feel protected, they feel loved, they feel that you are there to help them as a director, but also you cannot abdicate that power. The second thing is when you're talking about the storytelling no, then you have to talk about what happens in this scene, why it's happening, and why the characters' intentions are usually in conflict with each other, because that's what makes the drama. And then it's a different discussion.
I would also say that when a director says something, the actor's going to take it in, whether they want to or not. So oftentimes we give praise even though they haven't quite done it yet. I loved how you came strong into this room and made your position clear right off the top. And they didn't really do that, but there was enough of it so that you could praise them for it. The next time, they're going to come in with that, even stronger. And the other thing about that is when an actor has a different opinion, the important thing is to have a compromise. The important thing is to make it a win for them too, because it's not a good thing if they're going to have a differing point of view for me to squash them, because then we're not having a give and take creativity moment. And I want them to know that that's what we're doing. We're having a give and take creativity moment. So oftentimes I can give a little bit to get what I really want, or we can work it take by take by take, and eventually it becomes exactly what I want it to be. Having said that, I don't do a lot of takes because I don't believe in working something to death, but that's a different topic. My point just is, I think newbies think that directing is about laying down the law, and it is not at all. It's about leading in a kind and collaborative way.
And respecting them as artists. And it works two ways. You respect them as artists, they're going to respect you right back.
Indeed.